Our next speaker is Radovan Bacovic. He's a senior data engineer at GitLab. The title of his talk is How We Create Data Services in GitLab. And Radovan will provide a walkthrough over the process of creating, improving, and scaling data product using a modern DevOps stack. So, yeah.
Okay. Afternoon, everyone. I hope you have a really great time, same as me on this conference. And I know you're running out of energy, but still, I will steal last atoms of it to try to expose you how we create data services or products in GitLab.com. And when I thought how to expose you the idea what actually we are doing, because I was super exciting to wrap up everything into one sentence. And it said, we are using our product, which we are using to build our product, to build our data product, to analyze the data from our product. Great, but what's wrong with this? It's super confusing, counterintuitive, there is some recursion there, and at the end, still not clear. But this sentence is 100% true. So what and how? You should ask. I'm Radovan, work as a senior data engineer in GitLab.com, and want to show you and to tell you my story, how I think we are doing some stuff. Our company, it's called GitLab.com, and it's open core company, creates the software project to support other companies, individual startup enterprises to build a super cool software projects from end to end and support you in all stages of development lifecycle, right? And everything starts with a mission. Our mission is everyone can contribute. I just want to add everyone should contribute. You can revert the value to our product through supporting us, work with us, or through some kind of feedback, concerns, errors, whatever, any kind is more than welcome. And of course, under the mission, you have values. We create our set of values, and it's called credit, collaboration, result, efficiency, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, iteration, and transparency. For each of these values, we have a set of sub-values, help us drive our business on day-to-day basis, and create a really great stuff. Also, you notice GitLab.com product. It's really vital to distinguish company over product or against the product. And when it comes to GitLab.com product, it means it is a DevOps platform delivered as a monolith application, provide you to iterate, collaborate, communicate, innovate in a very fast fashion. This is the mock-up or detailed overview on all 10 stages we provide inside our GitLab.com product, and many details are here. But sometimes, if you're super lazy or running out of energy as you are today, same as me, you can see very brief overview on 10 stages without distracted by many details. So, from manage, plan, create, verify, over package, secure, and release, up to configure, monitor, and protect. Everything under one product. But don't want to overkill you with many nice and fancy presentations, diagrams, pictures. We'll show you a couple of numbers just to get the better picture on our company. We have 0 offices. We are fully all remote company, officially the biggest in the world. So no offices, no problems. Everything is done in asynchronous fashion across the globe with no headquarters, no offices. Also, when it comes to our employees, a little bit first after good lunch, sorry. 300 plus employees, or team members, how we call them, in more than 65 countries and regions. These numbers are growing, but this is what is official. So you can imagine worldwide, one company around the globe in numerous countries, doing great job. Users, favorite things, 30 plus million registered users, both paid and free. Some of them are using SaaS service, some of them are using self-managed, as this guy here, and probably you feel the pain of infrastructure things, but still enjoy and use our product on daily basis. 22nd, each month, last 10 years, with no delays, no exceptions, and no excuses, we release our product and incorporate many features inside it and ship it on this day. No excuses each month, and still going on. Really cool thing. You know what to expect and when. Our handbook contains 2,000 pages of text, and what is cool here, you remember our values like transparent, everything is open to the world. You can use it, reuse it, read it, and maybe find something very interesting inside it. But it's full of text. Before I started in GitLab, I thought this is kind of marketing tool, you know, created by marketing gurus, content writers, and so on. But day 1 or 2 in GitLab, I changed very minor piece of one page, push it to production, someone review it, and everything was fine and changed. Then I notice it's done by us, team members, and it's not a professional created page or set of pages. It's by us and for the community and also for us. So this is our single source of truth. Everything you need to find, you can find it here, and of course, open to the world. Check it if you want, gitlab.com/handbook. And most interesting thing, at least for me, this is heartbeat of our today's talk. What we have in data platform, what we want to build, and how we do that. Our current state is to deliver trusted data in scalable fashion in cost-effective manner or way. And how we get there. But before that, let's move one step backward. Where is my pyramid? This is something called data value pyramid. For this talk, stretched and exposed as a line to be more readable, and to see evolution of the data and its derivatives. From all good data, through information, up to knowledge and wisdom, as an ultimate shape of data these days, I think our team is somewhere in between, with strong tendency to move forward to knowledge and wisdom. Work is never done. Same goes for data capability model and what type of analytics we want to use, from descriptive up to diagnostic, predictive, up to prescriptive. Still, we are somewhere in between with really good will to move forward, to the right in this case. And of course, we have some challenges, how to overcome them and how to bridge the gap. Our challenges, to be open and honest, is how to stay competent on very tough market these days. Then we have good, and I would say mature product, 10 years old. You remember this, 22nd of each month, against very young and immature data team. So we are kind of younger brothers. How to catch up with them and do the job. How to scale, or how to infinitely scale, if possible, the entire data ecosystem in efficient way. You know, these days it's very easy to turn on all resources on some cloud provider by your choice and get a very huge bill, but it's not the option, or not the first option. How to orchestrate, harmonize, and synchronize all items in your business when it comes to organize the data team and execute the work. How to decrease time to market, stay efficient, and move fast from requirements through development, verification, validation, up to deployment mode. Something more intimate, how to increase visibility, both internally and externally. A couple of days ago, I had a chat with my colleague from sales team, and he told me, yeah, we have all these fancy graphs, diagrams, numbers I need. I can act quickly, and I can trust and rely on your data. But I have never heard from you nor your team. And that was sad. I think we do a great job, and yeah, he doesn't even know for us. And externally, of course, how to share the joy of what we are doing, to give something back to community, get something back from community, and exchange energy, information, and solutions. Probably this conference is one of the way to do that, for sure. Action. I mentioned our company, open core, open source, our product same, open source. Natively, probably, we should go in the same direction to create to and for the community. So we made that action. Dogfooding. Actually, this slide is not about dogs, nor food or eat something. It's more use your product as much as possible to do your job. And while you do a dogfooding and deeply jump into your product and take a knowledge about it, you can understand more and more and do your work more efficiently than it was before. So we embrace this dogfooding activity in order to make things done. And of course, our product forces us or help us to understand how to embrace and cultivate DevOps culture. This can be subject of many discussions outer of the scope of this talk, but from my point of view, personally, I think DevOps is more culture than set of tools. And about dogfooding, we have something called GitLab, GitFlow. Probably you remember the typical 4 type branches when you're using any type of Git, like master, develop, feature, release branch. But when I started in GitLab, I saw it's only master branch and short-lived feature branches. How to deal with that? What's going on with incidents, firefightings, reviews, and things like that? These Dogfooding help us to understand, and this tool shape us to stick with the approach to use only master and short-lived feature branch. Why? You have small increments and you iterate fast. You can go forward quickly. You can revert back quickly if something's going to get wrong. And that's a problem. But if you need to alter a small piece of code, who cares? You can survive. Also, I would say like him here is to iterate fast, move fast, and release frequently as possible. Of course, some of the companies has the policy to release once per month, one per week, one per year, whatever. We are doing this all the time using our pipelines inside our project, our product. And of course, effort here is not on the issue, as it's in some other environments, but more in a merge request. If you want to change something, want to raise discussion, have a request for change, we'll create an issue, but real action is going under merge request. And from there, everything is spin up and go to release and later on production. About the people, you know how hard it is to, or difficult it is to find great people, organize and orchestrate them into the one good forming team, and we survive. As I said, we are a young team or set of teams, and we passed from forming, storming, norming, and performing stages. Now it looks much, much better than it was before. But we strictly and specifically organize the roles. We have engineers, analytics, data scientists, managers of them, and also director of the data. And we are together going through daily job. Probably my favorite is about tech stack. Of course, probably you guessed I come from the data world, I'm tech geek, and mainly what we have in the data platform is open source. I know it's impossible to have 100% open source things, but stick with that. From left to right, on this slide is our well-known stack. Our infra, cloud first, cloud only, cloud ready, you name it, surrounded or prepared and ready to go in Docker and Kubernetes so we can easily scale and orchestrate the things. Everything is orchestrated and scheduled using Apache Airflow, great open source tool, I would say. Of course, for some use cases, we use out-of-the-shelf tools, help us to extract the data and push it into the storage. Storage, of course, single source of truth is Snowflake for us, very popular these days with great bunch of features. Data scientist is playing with Jupyter, and we expose, report, and visualize the data in Sisense. Our lovely Python is there in the middle with its derivatives. I want to stop here and just put a spotlight on these three tools here. First of them is dbt. It's called getDBT. Fully open source, of course there is a paid version, but dbt stands for Database Transformer. It means this tool will help you and support you to have all transformation work data platform ask, and it's required under one synchronous projects. It's purely based on SQL statements plus Jinja templates, and Jinja will support you to have more flexible some if statements and program controls under the one project. And in that single project also you can define all constraints, all check, and all tests, which is also a great thing. You can run dbt from command line under some fancy and cool orchestration tool like Airflow, I don't know, Luigi, whatever you want, and from web page if you're using a paid version. That's about transformation. What about extraction part? That Singer.io comes to the stage. Singer.io is framework, open source framework for ETL, built on two concepts, taps and targets. Taps means sources, target means targets, right? And you need to pipe and connect these two things, and your work is done when it comes to extraction part. About taps and targets, you can find everything in open source Sky, and you see contribution. For instance, if you're using GitLab and you want to analyze the data from GitLab, from our platform, you should pick up the tap from GitLab. If you're using Snowflake, target from Snowflake, Postgres, connect this and you're done. You just need to put credentials for your account. Simple as that. But one piece is missing. We need Pipeline as a service, even much better option. Meltano comes to the stage. I think this is a rising star in data world. It's fully open source. Also, I'm proud because this has been created under our company and spin off as a separate company. Meltano is pipeline as a service. It's built as a workaround and a wrapper on the top of Singer.io ETL framework, and accept taps and targets will create the full pipeline, Docker-ready execution model you can run on the production. And everything else is the same as any other tool. I know on this website, meltano.com, you can see the demo using gitlab.com data and push it to Postgres database data in less than 2 minutes, 90 seconds or something. Really cool, worth to check. Personally, I contributed to OneTap. It's now in progress for our education platform from US, and Snowflake will be our target. Because our code is open source, you can spot, watch them, just find my name there, and you'll see how things are going. Really cool, I think worth to check. And of course, when you're talking about pipelines, from our tool, for the data platform, we use a set of pipelines, and in case, let's say, we change dbt code, we will run some sets of pipelines related and regarding dbt to ensure the quality, to check everything, and if everything is fine, to push it on production. So continuous development all the time, and continuous integration and release all the time. Test environments. For me, it was a very painful point in the last couple of companies, and also these days. Probably you share or feel the same pain. What is the problem? How to find the data close to production, in a good shape, so you can test not only features, but also the performance. And on the client side, we have Docker, an isolated environment with same set of tools and same version, so each developer can do their work without concern, can screw up something using bad library, right? On the server side, Snowflake comes to the stage. There is single zero copy clone feature in Snowflake. Allow us to get data from production on demand and to create references to our new tested schema, and then you will be charged only for the increment. This is a super cool feature because you have ready-to-go data directly from production on demand for each issue you want to sort out. There is no way to screw up anything except your schema, and it's super cool. And at the end, as I said, to be cost efficient, you will be charged only for the data you change. It's just a reference to the data. It's not a real copy of the data. I would say in some other times, when it comes to DBAs, it was a headache for them to copy and still be cost efficient. Super cool feature. At the end, we have a framework of the tool. This is our big one we call Enterprise Data Platform, planted in and on the open source world. This is something we rely on. And also, when it comes to the people, I already mentioned roles and responsibilities about the data world, how we execute the job and satisfy the requirements for stakeholders. One, I would say, cherry on the top is a recently formed team called Data Science Team. I like these guys. Why? They provide us the result and visualization of our data in a very cool way. I think also worth to mention them. I already spoke about these topics informally with the folks on the conference. What they are doing, even they recently formed, they did propensity to expand. This is made for sales team, and they expose the probability and pretty much accurate number to tell us which customer is likely to unlock more stages in our product. You remember 10 stages in gitlab.com. And everything based on models and the data. And it's a kind of self-service product or project or whatever to the sales team. Also, propensity to contract. How likely is one user to stay with us, or to move to competitor, or to simply use some other tool? When it comes to user segmentation, we kicked off this project, I think, last week, and also how you should attach some properties to your user, and in which bracket you will put your user. We want to provide the best experience on the market when it comes to how to communicate with users. No more generic messages. It's more likely to be very unique and specified when it comes to the customers. Then, data is everywhere in the company. Okay, you have a data team, but everything around is built and connected through the data. For that reason, we keep the domain knowledge and also the technical knowledge, and try to be and stay fast. About processes, we unlock a couple of more stages from our project as a result of Dogfooding, and we said, okay, everything starts with the issue. It means if you have any kind of idea, if you want to sort out the problem, if you want to discuss something, or if, I don't know, to change something, create an issue, and process will spin up, for sure. Cherry on the top for enterprise data platform is trusted data model. Through defining the requirements up to mockups, modeling, development, check, control, reviews, and delivery is under trusted data model. We stick with this approach, generally speaking, to do our job. And this is kind of holy Bible for us. Of course, it can be subject of change over time, but still our cornerstone to do our work. As a result, you know, these days, ETL, ELT is very popular, data, whatever, but we stick with ELTD. D stands for documentation. You remember the handbook from the beginning of the talk. And you know, in a short run, day by day, it's very hard to create a great, cool features. And at the end of the day, you need to type and document everything. But in the long run, I think it will pay off. Why? Because you detached your work from yourself. You have a process how to support your team and your colleagues in order to have single source of truth for any type of problem. That's the reason I mentioned handbook, and probably will mention it one more time. Can't stress out to tell you how important it is. So we accept some concept called ELTD, where to check and where to try. On the top of this, as ultimate goal, we have short and long-term directions. Sometimes we should sacrifice favors we are doing to stakeholders to satisfy them and their requirements in order to do not get lost the direction and trajectory we want to go, to be best of breed on the market, and to do a great stuff to the business. And of course, building blocks of our enterprise data platform with various colors, so easily we can recognize and orient ourselves where we are, what is done, what we are doing, what we plan to do. And let me wrap up everything and share some takeaways I think can inspire you to do some work or accept some tricks for us. But before that, what questions you have for me? Let's discuss a little bit.
I have one question.
Yes? Mike can help you here.
Thank you. This was a great presentation, but my question is, I didn't see any tools that you use as a data lineage. Do you use any tools in the GitLab as a data lineage?
Yes, I was very limited with the time, but your answer here for you is DBT or get DBT tools. I forget to mention, or there is not enough time for that. If you use DBT for transformation and you have lineage for the data, you can track forward and backward each piece of data or each model you create. So answer is there, shortly speaking. Now I can't remember the name, but there is one more tool to provide us the full lineage of the data. Current setup is kind of super complex, and we inherited that, so we want to reduce the complexity of that. And that lineage tool, it's a really graphical representation with point and click and easily go to the model you want in DBT, can tell us how to reduce the complexity and how to optimize that piece of process. So answer from me for you is DBT. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, of course.
I'm somebody who uses lots of GitHub and Gitbook, and I'm wondering what would be the benefit of me moving onto GitLab?
I can connect with our sales team. That's the simplest answer. I would say both tools are based on a different strategy and approach. From my point of view, I don't want to force anyone. I just want to speak nice things here about any kind of product. We have 10 stages. You can do whatever you want. Some companies or individuals are use 1, 2 stages for version control, but also some companies using project management, delivery, our runner as a desktop application. So we have various use cases, and of course, it's out the shelf for you what you want to use. There is no numerous number of features, but what we are doing, I think it's kind of cool, and of course, open source. That's also great.
Sure. Everything open source is great.
By default, yes. Fully agree with you.
Very cool talk. I have one remark which I found really great with the handbook, that you actually put documentation also into your development process, and this is great. We also have to adapt this. But what I actually want to ask is two more practical questions, since you're all remote. Because I discussed this yesterday, how does it work contract-wise? Are you all contractors, or how does it, because there might be some, tax regarding tax laws and so on. How does this remote first work?
Same goes when I started in GitLab and I asked someone, okay, how to this and that, and I had the same question, and they just was lazy and put me the link to the handbook. So handbook contains all answers about organization. So to clarify, handbook is not only about our data teamwork or any other teamwork. It's more about how we hiring the people, what we expect from people, how we run our business. So from CEO story, what his favorite restaurants, up to what I am doing and what our projects are, or what data science team is doing, and how we are organized in sense of entities, and what's happening if you're sitting in US, let's say, against if you're sitting here in Serbia, as it's my case, everything is there, just to keep this conversation in the time frame. Check the handbook.
Okay, so you have different entities in each
yes,
country?
We have different scenarios per country.
Okay.
We are not country blind. I mean, it's not just your work in US. If you're in US, you have entity in US. If you're working in Netherlands, same story, but if you work in Serbia, it's a different setup, I would say. But checking handbook, you can find Austria if you want to work for us, and then you will see how things are going.
No, but the transparency is extremely
it is
great
transparent.
for remote
That part is transparent.
companies. Maybe one little add-on, how long did it take you to adapt to the new culture? So maybe when you...
I'm a remote veteran, so for me it was like one step forward without changing my personal or working environment. For some other people are going from co-located or office environment, it can be a little bit difficult or hard to adopt. For me, it was easier because I used to work within the same way, just adopt into new company, new culture, new people. Everything else was the same. Good thing to mention, we have asynchronous way of communication if you ask how we are doing around the globe. So everything is written in handbook or in Google Docs. No agenda, no meetings, simple as that.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Mario.
Still a few minutes left if anyone is interested in anything. If not,
Sorry? Yes, it is, but I spoke with some folks here earlier this day about that topic. They're kind of growing company, and I said to them, okay, reuse what we are doing there and what we wrote down in handbook and use that. I don't know the details, I just know from my experience when coming to HR hiring process, but I think worth to check, especially if you're a small company, you can reuse as much as you want. Actually, no tricks, nothing is hidden, no cost, at least. So feel free to use it. Yeah.
I'll look for you on LinkedIn.
Thanks, of course.
well, thank you very much for
Running
the
out
great
of time almost.
talk.
Thank you. Let's conclude here. Keep permanent iteration mindset in order to move fast. Move fast, don't get lost the bigger picture. Even you're using a small step, always orient yourself and your company. Try to embrace DevOps and open source. I think that's probably the most secure and best way, most optimal way to survive today and do your work efficiently tomorrow. Or probably there is no other way, in my opinion. Sometimes be conservative and go for the boring solution in order to solve complex problems. Be very strict to put and keep everything in the source control. Even more stricter when it comes to the testing. Fight for your code quality. Automated everything, and be very cruel when it comes to the code-based quality. These days, people want to deliver something to get the money, but still I think in a long run, good quality base will beat everything. Trust me for sure, and try to automate this. My favorite, handbook. Make your documentation first-class citizen and a single source of truth. If you find something is unconscious or not clear for you what is true, make something, in our case handbook, single source of truth. It makes your life easier. and live your values. Create your values, define your values, celebrate your values, and live your values at the end. It can help you to run your business and to communicate both internally and externally. And of course, to clarify the first slide, we are using our product, GitLab.com, to build enterprise data platform, and then later on to analyze the data from GitLab.com. Looks much clearer, I think. I don't know, do you agree or not? And don't forget, everyone can and should contribute. Feel free to go there and improve our product. Let's do it together. This is about me. I just want to say thanks to all of you for the patience, and even with low energy, I think we ran this talk very successfully, great discussion. I'm here for you for any kind of contact problem. Let's connect and do some great jobs. Thank you, and bye.